Rangers have officially entered a brand new chapter. The appointment of Russell Martin as the new manager has lit a fire across the fan base, and not necessarily the warm, cozy kind, while a portion of supporters are backing the decision with full confidence, praising it as a progressive and forward-thinking move that could modernize the football played at Ibrox. Others are far from convinced. The skepticism is real, and the split in opinion is sharp. Many are questioning Martin's pedigree, his lack of experience at the very top, and whether he genuinely fits the mold of what a title-winning Rangers manager should be. The club, however, seems far more certain. According to sources close to the decision-makers at Ibrox, this wasn't a roll of the dice or a rushed call made out of desperation. On the contrary, it was the result of a carefully calculated process, part of a wider, long-term vision to reshape the club's footballing identity. Martin, despite the noise, was no accident. The board sees him as a key piece in a puzzle that's been slowly coming together since the takeover by the new American-led consortium. And while the debate rages on among the supporters, the reality is that Russell Martin is now the man in charge handed the task of bringing glory back to the blue half of Glasgow. It's a big job, no question about it. The pressure is monumental. Expectations at Ibrox are never low, and patience is rarely a luxury afforded to new faces. But Martin steps in with a clear vision, one that impressed every key figure during the recruitment process. Whether or not the fans buy into it straight away, the new gaffer has already won the confidence of those pulling the strings behind the scenes. He arrives on a 3-year deal, having been out of work since parting ways with Southampton last December. His time with the Saints had its ups and downs, but it's impossible to ignore the fact that he led them to promotion, playing an attacking, possession-heavy style of football in one of the toughest leagues in the world. His coaching resume includes more than 250 matches across his spells at MK Dons, Swansea City, and Southampton. Not bad for someone still under 40. Martin is also no stranger to Ibrox. He knows what the club means, having worn the shirt himself during his playing days. That familiarity with the culture, the passion, and the pressure of the Rangers environment might just work in his favor, as he looks to stamp his identity on the squad. But he'll need more than nostalgia to survive. The Scottish Premiership is ruthless, and Celtic's recent dominance means there's very little margin for error. From day one, Martin will be expected to not only compete, but to win, domestically and in Europe. Behind the scenes, the appointment was led by Chief Executive Patrick Stewart alongside new Sporting Director Kevin Thelwell, both of whom were heavily involved in identifying the right profile for the job. New Chairman Andrew Kavanagh, installed following the consortium's takeover, gave the final green light. And all three have gone on record to back Martin as the right man to guide the club forward. According to Stewart, the club had very specific criteria in mind for their next coach. Someone who could improve the playing style, develop the squad, elevate the club culture, and above all else, deliver results. For him, Martin stood out above all other candidates. Kevin Thelwell echoed those thoughts, pointing to Martin's tactical evolution shaped by his experiences in the Premier League. He spoke about Martin's approach to dominant football, controlling the tempo, pressing high, staying aggressive off the ball, and how that vision aligns perfectly with the identity Rangers want to build both at home and on the European stage. For Thelwell, it wasn't just about what Martin has done in the past, but about how he's grown through those challenges and how that growth can benefit Rangers in the long run. Kavanagh, now holding one of the most influential positions in the club, also expressed confidence in the new manager. He called the process thorough and rigorous, and described Martin as someone who aligns with the long-term goals of attracting top talent, empowering them with support, and creating the conditions for sustainable success. It's clear that this isn't just about winning the next match. It's about rebuilding the structure to compete consistently at the highest level. But while Martin's arrival takes center stage, there's other movement in and around the club worth keeping an eye on. Belgian side Beerschot are reportedly considering Rangers assistant coach Issame Sharai as they search for their next manager. The Moroccan coach was brought in during the final days of Philippe Clement's time in charge and managed to survive the reshuffle when Clement was sacked. During the interim period, Shari worked under Barry Ferguson alongside the likes of Neil McCann, Billy Dodds, and Alan McGregor. Whether he remains part of Martin's plans moving forward is yet to be seen, but his name has certainly attracted interest abroad. Belgian media are reporting that Beerschot have already begun sounding out several candidates, with Charai among those being closely considered. The club's current assistant coach at Zulte Waregem is said to be the front-runner, but Charai remains firmly in the frame. At 42 years old, he's gained valuable experience in recent months, and the opportunity to take on a managerial role could be a natural next step in his career. Meanwhile, attention is also turning to the playing squad, with former manager Philippe Clement throwing his support behind one of Rangers' standout performers, Nicolas Raskin. Currently on international duty with Belgium, Raskin is gearing up for two crucial World Cup qualifiers and has already caught the eye at the highest level. Clement, speaking from his home country, was full of praise for the midfielder, saying he believes Raskin is ready to make the jump to a top-half Premier League side. It was Clement who handed Raskin the captain's armband during a crucial Old Firm clash back in January, and his admiration for the player is clear. He described Raskin as a natural leader, someone who thrives when given responsibility. According to the former boss, the young Belgian has made huge strides in the tactical side of his game, learning to stay disciplined and avoid chasing every fire on the pitch. That growth, Clement believes, is what made him ready for international football. And let's not forget the case of Václav Cerny. The Czech winger was one of the few bright spots in what was ultimately a frustrating campaign for Rangers. On loan from Wolfsburg, Cerny racked up an impressive tally of goals and assists, but his future remains completely up in the air. With no option to buy in his loan deal, and Wolfsburg still without a permanent manager, Cerny has admitted he's got no idea where he'll be playing his football next season. Speaking to the Czech press, Cerny was honest and reflective. He knows that returning to Germany is the default for now, but he also made it clear that he's open to exploring options. He still has 2 years left on his deal with Wolfsburg, but he's coming off the back of a highly productive season at Ibrox and will want to make the most of that momentum. Whether that means another spell in Scotland, a new challenge elsewhere, or a place in Wolfsburg's plans, it's all still up in the air. So here we are, a new manager in charge, a club in transition, a squad with potential but full of unanswered questions. The next few weeks will be absolutely crucial in shaping what kind of season Rangers are about to have. Will Russell Martin be the man to finally bring stability and success back to Ibrox? Or will the doubts around his appointment prove justified? One thing's for sure, this story is only just getting started. The weeks ahead will not only test Russell Martin's tactical acumen, but also his ability to handle the heat that comes with the Rangers job. It's not just about results, it's about presence, command, and proving you can lead a dressing room that's been crying out for direction. Preseason is around the corner, and with it comes the first opportunity to shape the squad in his image. He'll be expected to move quickly, identify who fits his philosophy, who doesn't, and where the gaps are that need to be filled in the transfer market. And that transfer market will be a key battleground. Rangers can't afford another summer of half measures. The club needs quality and depth, and they need it now. With Martin known for his desire to play high-intensity, possession-based football, the players brought in must match that profile. That means energy, intelligence, and a real hunger to compete. Not just at Ibrox, but away from home in Europe, in the pressure cookers that define a season. There's little room for passengers. One of the big questions hanging over the squad is leadership. With experienced names potentially moving on, Martin will have to identify his core group quickly. The voices in the dressing room who'll carry his message when things get tough. In a league where mentality often separates success from failure, that spine of character is just as important as tactics. And given the new board's emphasis on culture and long-term sustainability, Martin's job goes beyond the 90 minutes. He's being tasked with reshaping the mentality of the club from the inside out. Supporters will want signs, not just sound bites from the boardroom or carefully worded interviews. They'll want to see the intensity in training clips, the aggression in friendly matches, the hunger in the way the team carries itself. A fast start to the season is vital. With Celtic not likely to ease up, Rangers cannot afford to be playing catch up by October. Every dropped point will be scrutinized, every setback dissected. That's the reality of managing in Glasgow. But it's not all pressure and weight of expectation. There's also an opportunity here for Martin to truly carve his name into Rangers history. The foundations are being laid for a new structure, a different approach. If he gets it right, he could be remembered as the man who brought Rangers into a new era. Not just by winning matches, but by changing how the club operates, how it thinks, how it competes. That kind of legacy is rare, but it's there for the taking. Off the pitch, the mood around the club is shifting. The arrival of the new American investors has brought fresh optimism, but also fresh demands. The days of excuses are over. The resources are improving. The infrastructure is getting better. And now, with Martin in place, the focus turns squarely to the pitch. Results must follow. The fans have been patient, but only up to a point. They want silverware. They want pride in Europe. They want a team that reflects the values of the badge: fight, flair, and no fear. There's also a sense that younger players will now have a clearer path to the first team. Martin, throughout his managerial career, has shown a willingness to trust and develop youth. That could be a major plus for Rangers, who've seen talent stagnate in the past under managers who preferred experience over potential. With a modern training center and a rich academy system, there's no excuse not to build from within. That doesn't mean lowering standards. It means creating a platform where talent is nurtured, challenged, and pushed to reach elite levels. And as European qualifiers loom on the horizon, Martin's ability to prepare a squad that can handle the dual demands of domestic and continental football will be put to the test. That means balancing intensity with rotation, being smart with squad management, and knowing when to be pragmatic. Success in Europe isn't just about quality, it's about discipline, organization, and game management. If Martin can get that part right early, it'll go a long way toward winning over the doubters. In the midst of it all, names like Raskin Cerny and even fringe players returning from loan will all come under review. Everyone starts with a clean slate under a new manager, but not everyone will make the cut. Those early training sessions, the first friendlies, they'll speak volumes, and supporters more than ever will be watching every detail, every decision. It's not just about who starts, but who stays, who leaves, and how the club reinvests and recalibrates with a new era taking shape. There's a storm of expectation swirling around Ibrox right now. Part excitement, part uncertainty. But in Glasgow, that's always the case. Russell Martin might be new to the job, but the environment, that's something he already knows. He's walked onto that pitch as a player. He's felt the noise. He knows what's at stake. Before we continue, make sure to subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications to get all the exclusive news about Rangers FC. Don't overlook any details about your beloved team. It's crucial for Rangers FC fans. Whispers are growing louder across the Scottish footballing landscape, with rumors swirling that none other than David Beckham is eyeing a sensational takeover of Rangers Football Club. While no official statement has been made, insiders suggest that talks have quietly been underway for weeks, sparking excitement and trepidation in equal measure among the Ibrox faithful. Beckham, a global icon both on and off the pitch, has already proven his interest in football ownership with his MLS franchise, Inter Miami. Now speculation suggests he may be set to make his mark on the historic Scottish game, with Rangers, one of the most decorated clubs in world football, potentially becoming his next grand project. Sources close to the matter hint that Beckham has long admired the passionate fan culture and rich traditions of Scottish football, and sees Rangers as a sleeping giant with untapped global potential. Such a move, if true, could dramatically reshape the fortunes of the Glasgow Giants, who have been striving to keep pace with rivals Celtic domestically while seeking to regain their place as a force in European competitions. Pundits have already begun debating what Beckham's potential involvement could mean for the club's transfer strategy, commercial operations, and global brand expansion. Of course, there are those who question the plausibility of such a venture. Beckham's extensive commitments across the Atlantic and various business enterprises would make running a club of Rangers' stature a significant undertaking. Furthermore, the current Ibrox hierarchy has given no public indication of any intention to sell, nor have they responded to the mounting rumors. Nevertheless, the prospect of Beckham bringing his celebrity and business acumen to Scottish football is an enticing one, fueling fevered discussions in pubs, on terraces, and across social media platforms. Some supporters dream of a new era of investment, marquee signings, and continental ambition, while others urge caution, wary of the pitfalls that sometimes accompany high-profile ownership changes. As it stands, the story remains in the realm of speculation, but in the world of football, stranger things have happened. Whether this rumor fizzles out or ultimately transforms into a headline grab in reality, one thing is certain. The eyes of the footballing world are firmly fixed on Ibrox, waiting to see what unfolds next. Greetings, fans. Make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel, as it's greatly appreciated by Rangers FC. And don't forget to share your thoughts on the news in the comments section below. Until the next video, stay tuned.